Leeds United made the most of their second chance in the European Cup against Stuttgart, the team they say has more foreign reserves than the Bank of England. Leeds won 2-1 in Barcelona in front of a tiny crowd. Their hero was Talking Shutt. He scored the winner less than a minute after coming on as a substitute, and tomorrow's his birthday.
Evening and welcome to episode 173 of the Talking Shutt podcast. We're a bit down on numbers this week. Raggy's decided he's got a family and he's going to go and have some food with them. Gary's got a cold apparently, but I just don't think he wants to talk about Tuesday night. So we've got some ringers here. We've got Joe from Just Joe. Everyone knows Joe. And Danny.
I was just walking past.
Danny? Yeah. He just appeared on screen, and I'm like, all right, well,
he's hacked in. We haven't invited him.
Yeah. How you doing, lads?
Yeah, good, man.
Good, man. Good. I'm glad to. It feels good to be back, mate. I can't lie. It's
nice.
Been
a while, yeah.
Yeah,
come down and do a live one.
Hey,
need to come down and do a live one.
Yeah, I know, right? I think the last time you were with,
we were proper sport.
No, the Josh Gudgeon.
Oh yeah,
Josh Gudgeon.
Josh Green.
Yeah.
Long
time.
So let's go on to football. We'll start with the nicer one. We played Chelsea on last Saturday. What do you think to that one, lads? We lost 3-2, but I think it was a game we probably should have won. Would you agree?
Yeah. I think, first off, it was gutting to not take away something. It was absolutely gutting. Especially in the dying minutes, we could have took a point. But if, we did show that sort of character to go on and win it, I agree, yeah.
Do you know what it was for me as well? Like, I was watching in Paris. I was away at the weekend with my partner, but I found a little pub and we were sat in there watching it. And when Gelhardt scored, I genuinely felt we were going to go on and win at that point. I did. I was like, yeah, we're going to win this, It definitely felt like that. Obviously gutted to lose in the manner that we did. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead a bit, but I know it's a soft penalty, but as soon as he made the challenge, I said, don't make that challenge, you idiot, and that's because I did think, I know a lot of people said we were scammed out of it and all that sort of stuff, and it was soft, and if it's anywhere else on the pitch, it's not, I get all that, but at that moment, like, he was always given a penalty, I felt. And it was tough to take. It was tough to take, man.
Well, yeah, so I guess that's the main thing. That's what lost us the points, well, at least 1 point. I guess we'll cover that first. That kind of, you just have to stand him up and make sure it doesn't roll you or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think,
it's Rudiger, Ben. He's a centre back.
Even more so. And I guess you could say the same for both of them, but let's concentrate on the second penalty first. That you can't, you just got to stand them up, and it's not. I can't try to think of the right word without sort of being like, it's just a silly challenge, and especially against a side like Chelsea, they're going to be in the top three, and I mean we covered it last week that the top 6 or whatever you want to call them, the Super League team seems to be getting a lot more than everyone else at the moment. It was always going to happen like that if you did anything around the box, especially with them, us being I thought the better side as well.
I think it looks worse in slow motion as well, because 6'3", 80 odd kilogram muscly Rudiger just goes down. Yeah. And, do you know what I mean? And I just find it, in real time, he's probably thought, that's no. But then you look at on the replay, it looks even worse. And he's just refs give it straight away, and it's just gutting.
Yeah, well, you see him get up smiling and laughing, but
Yeah,
you know that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to win the league, and they'll do anything to. And like Ben says, all of that should be taken into account. The mental aspect of being a Premier League footballer, you know, I think there's an added mental toll in there on the squad, and there's politics in the game. There's, you know, like we say, there's referees that will give favourable decisions to certain teams, and yeah, it's just he's never going to get the ball. You know, kicking through the back of him, yeah, it's just ridiculous. I think that's when you need that discipline. Yeah, we've had it happen to us and it's not been given. But again, the inconsistency now, I think we just have to grin and bear it, don't we? You know, until we get to a level where, you know, the refs actually, well, I don't know if they ever will give us the same crack of the whip, but
did the exact same thing happen in another game as well?
Well, I remember off the top of my head, Burnley, Stuart Dallas got kicked through the back of the shin, didn't he?
It happened last year. I'm sure there was pictures going around.
Paveda
got sort of, and it was very much a defender was sort of going to kick the ball. Paveda sort of just got there in front of him and he kind of caught his ankle. But is that not the same thing? Did they get that because they're a top side or whatever? I guess the main thing to cover is you're asking the question of the referee.
Yeah.
And once you get into that state, whether it's you can argue for and against whether it's a foul or not. But once you get into that question of you're asking a referee to make a decision in them circumstances, it just comes down to that, doesn't it? That he's going to give whatever the pressure allows him to give, and that'd be you're away against the top side. It's going to be a penalty to Chelsea.
Yeah. Did we get it in the notes as well about the Leeds being investigated for protesting that as well? Have we got that in the notes?
I don't think I've written it down, no, but I guess it carries on from this that, however we've been, it might actually be on Shithouse. However we've been charged for something like that, when it happens game after game, multiple times in a game. Like I say, it's probably in Shithouse, but we'll go back to that. So let's sort of go back to the beginning of the game. I thought we started really well, and then we get the penalty early on, which to me, stonewall penalty. James sort of goes past it. I think it was James, and then he gets taken down. And then it was Raf stepped up, and I'm thinking, please just score this. And he's got that really weird, like especially after the one
jump.
Yeah,
it's it off Jorginho, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he's definitely ripped it off Jorginho, I think,
without a doubt.
But like the one against Brentford, where the position he's kicked it, like in the goal, I think that's not a great penalty, but because of how he does it, the keeper's kind of flat-footed, and it's just enough away from him from getting it because he can't move quick enough or diving sort of thing. So but it's not nice to watch as a fan, is it?
No,
them kind of penalties.
Well,
I'd rather just
the challenge is an absolute ankle breaker as well. Like it's Again, we're seeing that favourable side to it. I think with that, I think he's been influenced by the home crowd, but that's just allegedly my opinion. But I think there's a serious case for that. But he's just lost his bottle, the ref. I don't think Reece James should be on the pitch after that. But again, grin and bear it.
Are you in about the? No, there was the one
on James on James.
James on James, yeah. I was on about the penalty before the James on James one. See, I can't make my mind up about that. I've seen it a few times back, and Tyler Roberts does one quite similar later on.
Yeah, I think there's a case that if I think it's his leading leg or his trailing leg, if that connects with James, then he's getting sent off because both feet are off the floor. He gets quite lucky with the challenge. The intent was there, And if we're going to go look at, say, Strauss on Harvey Elliott, he got done for intent. So you can argue, yeah, look, James intended to smash him. And it's just luck that his leg didn't connect. And I guess with, you know, Strauss, he was unlucky that his trailing leg did connect and what happened. But I do think there was definitely some intent there. But I don't think it was a red. That's just my opinion. I think sometimes, like, I know Rudiger this and, you know, but for me, they were both penalties and they were both silly challenges for me. And we can't really grumble. I know that, especially the last one, it's hard to take, but Click, he didn't need to make the... If it's Lukaku, I could argue, okay, maybe, you know, you try and get there, because if Lukaku pins you, 9 times out of 10, it's game over anyway. You're getting turned in, you know. But it's Rudiger, man. And we seen Rudiger hit the deck and his little grin, because he knew. He was waiting for that contact. And he might as well have said, thank you, Mateus. You know, I was waiting for it and you gave me it. And he didn't need to make that challenge.
Makes the contact, he may as well have his hands in his pockets. He's like, he's so... He's so
like his pants, were you going to say his pants down there?
Yeah, I was going to say, he might as well have pulled his pants down. I was like, what?
He might as well have done, But and maybe that's a bit... Do you think sometimes we're a bit too naive with that as a team, that we give away them silly fouls?
There's a lot outside the box, isn't there?
Yeah.
And, you know, having like hands on players and pulling shoulders and stuff, it's just, seeing a lot of it now. It's silly.
So onto the next penalty, their first goal. I think live, I saw Rafinha go into that, and I'm thinking he's got the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking we're all right here. And then as soon as it's the play stops, I'm thinking we're not going to get away with that one. Simply because he goes off his feet. He's off his feet. Is, I guess you can say, out of control, like they like to say. And I think it goes to, again, that if you do that against a Burnley or whatever, they might not get a penalty on that. But because you're against the top side, I always think that's just going to be a penalty.
Yeah. There's always the league leader dynamic in there, man. Like, there's always that. But I think it's, to be honest, I think it's fine. The ball is the ball's well in between them, and he just sweeps the ball. He's on the ground. He sweeps the ball away, but you know the man is there as well. But I don't know. I don't think that's a pen. That
you not think it is, nah?
Nah.
No.
It's not for me.
I want to ask him, why is he going to the ground in that position?
Yeah, exactly.
You can see him trotting up to the player, and he's just like, it's like a wild spark just went off in his head. It just went down, and he's just hold him up. You know,
I guess it's different in a way because he goes to the ground, but it's very similar to the Klitsch one, that just stand him up.
Yeah. Oh, no, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, it's on a neutral basis. It's not a foul, but you need to think about these things in this. That's what I'm saying. In this league, against the league leaders, like Ben said, don't even bring the referee into the discussion. Don't give him the chance. Yeah. But there's, like you said, there's just these silly moments where it's like you just switch off.
Yeah, 100%. I could not believe that when I watched it. I just thought, why on earth did you go in like that? All you had to do was show him the line. You know, it might not be, you know, I'm Saturday League's answer to Luke Varney. What do I know? but Rafinha, he should be, you know, in his defensive role up there, he shouldn't be going around in the penalty area, especially in this day and age where the slightest touch, a lace touches your calf, you go down, it's a penalty, VAR.
Yeah, I think I agree. So moving on to their second goal, does Dallas get fouled in the sort of build up to that? Is it like a bit of a? I guess these are the kind of the ones
is it Alonso
that the referees
that nicks it off him.
Yeah, and he sort of does he have a bit of a hold of Dallas, and I guess they're the kind of ones that you've seen in the Premier League that they've just said play on, and I guess it's another one of, are you asking the question of the referee, and if they're playing on from them in the middle, then it's probably not a foul, but it definitely gets impeded.
you know what I put it down to? You know, and I've seen it a few times, and I love Ilya Meslier, but he really needs to sort out his distribution out to the wings, either if he's clipping it out or he's throwing it out. Because 9 times out of 10, he's putting the players under a lot of pressure, and I know he's probably asked to do that, but so many times this season, I have seen it get clipped out either from his boot or from his hand. You know, he's thrown it. Either goes out of play or he puts us massively under pressure. And again, it's just a bitter pill to swallow because you give away 2 penalties and you sort of gift them that goal as well. Because Alonso, I think it was Alonso, was just waiting for it, man. It comes in and you know, it gets pulled in, and it's an easy goal for Mount in the end. So I don't know. I think we're guilty of being our own worst enemy, man. Situation.
I think in real time when I watched it, I do like Dallas chests it into the path of was it Alonso, and it's so. There's contact and it ends up in Alonso's feet, and then it's just an easy ball into Mount for me, and then for me Meslier shouldn't be getting beaten at his near post. He should be covering that post. I thought he was out of position as well.
That's what I thought you were going to say, Joe, about Meslier. Is his near post, covering his near post has been awful this season. Like, it's, you know, 101 stuff. It's like for all of his amazing acrobatics and reflexes, and you know, he's won us more points than he'll lose us, but. Yeah, that near post, man. It makes me cringe sometimes seeing it.
But do you think there's sometimes? I mean, it was quite a quick move, and it's a close sort of range shot. Is he going to save one of them? It comes in that quick, and Mount gets in front of Llorente, and then he's literally just tapped it in, and before anyone could sort of react to it.
I think if he's just 2 steps to the right, then he gets to it. You know, it's just one of them. He's just been watching it, and he's probably expected it to go over Mount. You know, into the 6-yard box. That's why he's come into the middle. But I mean, I'm no goalkeeper coach by a stretch of imagination, but I think there was just too much of a gap there. You know, on his near post. Yeah, and that's and that's why he goes in.
The good thing about Meslier as well is that you know he'll know that. Like he's he's a young keeper and he's looking to be one of the best in the world. So, you know, it's just then
experience, isn't it?
Yeah, it's experience, and it's then putting that into action. Like he'll know that his distribution's been subpar this season, and he'll know that his near post isn't getting covered enough. But then you're waiting for it to be like, but then he's under so much pressure because the defense is so, you know.
This is what does it all come down to, that you've got a changing team all the time because of there's injuries we've had and stuff like that. There's no consistency in who is kicking to or and stuff like that, and we're having to
chop and change.
And it's not, we're not getting any flow to his games at times.
I think Meslier genuinely plays better when like Cooper's in there. I think Cooper's got the, you know, for what he lacks in raw talent, I think he's got the leadership and the organisation, doesn't he? Llorente is getting that. But I still think there's a bit of they do miscommunicate sometimes. But yeah, I think Meslier is just a bit more well-rounded when Cooper's in there.
But sorry.
Are you saying we miss Cooper? I love this though. Because I bang his drum all the time.
I'm proper pro Cooper. I mean, I'm a Scotland fan as well. So like,
there you go.
I saw a tweet that since Cooper went off against Brentford, we've conceded 12 goals. Make that what you will, you know. But the thing with Llorente that you just touched on there, what he does is like he sort of waits for the closing player to come in, and then he zips it. You know, with one of his bullet passes, and it gets me on edge every time. It's like, come on, mate.
Yeah. Well, it was woeful. Sometimes they come off, but again, City. I know that he sort of started it. Like I know they didn't score from it. Bernardo Silva missed a sitter, but when he made that pass early doors, I was like,
outside of foot as well.
Going to be our night.
Oh, the outside of the foot one.
Sometimes
they're in, but
yeah.
You know,
But they're the kind of thing, like, I guess you need them in games, but also them kind of passes when we're struggling, we've not got a lot of players. They're great when you've got someone there that you like, maybe if you're playing into a Rodrigo or a Bamford or whatever, that are going to hold it up a bit better. But yeah, I guess it kind of sums up a bit of the Chelsea game as well, that we've tried to play too much at times. And it's like you say, going out to with Melia, kicking it out wide and what have you. We tried that and tried to be too cute, I guess, against good sides. I mean, there's something that I will go on to for the City game, a tactic that City played. But yeah,
against good sides, it's like we're always a bit more direct, aren't we, against better sides? We take advantage of the high line that they hold. But keeping on the centre-back thing, it's like Cooper used to do it last season where he'd surge forward. Ben White used to do it the season before, where the centre-back he'd look around, there's no pass on, but he'd just run forward because there's so much space. And all of a sudden they're on the back foot, they're panicking. Yeah. And then you can play a ball over the top. And we haven't really seen that this season. We haven't seen any of them surging runs from centre-backs at all.
But do you think that's because I guess everything kind of goes back to the injuries we're having and have had, that we can't play about? I mean, all we've really got to play for now is to James, who seems to be injured again, but and using his pace. And I mean, even I guess he might start on Saturday if the game goes ahead. If Joffrey starts, which I guess we'll come on to his goal in a second as well.
He's got to, hasn't he? He's got to start this weekend, Ben. We've got no other options.
Yeah, well, he has to. But and he came on against Chelsea, and he sort of felt, I guess, the same as the Watford game. You felt that lift from him, or at the Wolves game. Yeah. The Wolves game. You felt that lift from him because he buzzes around and he gets on the ball, and even if we're just trying to take on defenders, and sometimes it's going to work. He's got that fearlessness about him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we made the move we do, which is a proper Bielsa goal, I'd say. I think we get a bit lucky. We get with Klitsch getting the ball, but he makes that turn, makes that run, which we've not seen from Klitsch this year. Yeah, he makes a run, darts straight through, a little 1-2 with Firpo, darts through the middle. Harrison's wide, get the ball in, and then Joffrey's there to tap it in, and it was a brilliant team goal that you'd expect to see from Leeds United.
Yeah, do you know it were very reminiscent of Hull away. Do you remember Hull away where Tyler Roberts got them 2 goals, and it were very reminiscent of that. And what you just said, where Joffrey came on, he just ran at players, didn't he? And he wasn't scared to do a little turn or a little drop of the shoulder. And you can tell he's a player that wants to be there. He wants to fight for that top spot. You know what I mean? And I just feel like with that kind of energy and attitude, you can see the players around him getting, lifting. Like, if he believes, why can't I? And that's what you need, team at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when Gaz was saying about the number 9 spot is essentially vacant at the moment without Bamford in there. So we need somebody to step up. And, Gaz was saying, like, Roberts should have been that guy. Roberts should have been the guy stepping up going, this is my spot. This is me. I'm a Premier League striker. I'm going to prove it. Yada, yada, yada. Didn't do that. Joe Gelhardt comes on, scores against Chelsea. Like, for me, you can't. That's a hell of a statement from a young man. And I don't know if it's Bielsa protecting him or something like that. But to then not start him against City was just, I don't know what more he's got to do.
I have my thing was, and I took a bit of battering for it on the watch along that I did, is like, not this statement itself, but I feel that Bielsa's managing him, and I made the link between how Pep managed Foden, and there was clamouring for Foden to come in, and took his time with him, and now look at Foden. And I'm not saying they're comparable because Foden's elite, and maybe Joffrey will go on to that. He's clearly talented for the age he is, but I felt against City, I was like, well, I don't even think it's the right game to play him because, look, we're not getting anything. We've had 4 final third passes and all this sort of stuff. Then he came on at half-time and people were saying, I thought it weren't the right game. And I was like, listen, Bielsa knows more than me. Anyway, there was one moment, right, where he picked up the ball and he had like De Bruyne, Gundogan, and he managed to beat about 3 of them. And I looked at it and I thought, do you know what? He actually, even if it was just for one moment, he actually made the ball stick. Whereas Dan James doesn't have that in his locker, and will never have that in his locker. Let's be honest. He gets the ball and he just looks to kick it past the man and run onto it. The way Gelhardt did that, and he's up against, like I say, quick feet around De Bruyne, Gundogan. I think there were like 3 of them, and he won a free kick. And I went at that point, okay, he is ready. Like, he needs to start, because I was saying that age, all that sort of stuff, but for him to come on and make it stick, even if it was just for a little moment. And that's what we need from our number 9. We need it to stick, because that's what Bamford's great at, and he brings others into play. And I think, for me, especially now with James being out, he's got to start. He's got to start at the weekend. And once he gets a proper run in, and we're talking, 2, 3, 4 games on the bounce, I think it'll be hard to get him back out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I genuinely think it will.
Yeah. So then, we'll I guess we'll talk Joffrey a bit more in a bit later. Then we discussed their second penalty, which led it to 3-2, and I guess there were a bit of a deflation after that. I mean, I just felt gutted that we didn't at least come out with a point from that. Yeah, but we at least deserved a point, and I thought we should have won.
Yeah, initial reaction was robbed, but then again, you look at it and, like Joe said, we're our own worst enemy sometimes.
Yeah.
Go on,
Danny.
I was just saying, I couldn't believe it. I was absolutely elated to see Filet tweet, Joffrey, Gelhardt goal. Yeah. And I thought, that's just like a moment in history for him. Do you know what I mean? Imagine that feel.
Against the European champions.
Exactly. I thought, that's it. We've nicked a point. It's great stuff. And then I refreshed Twitter, and it was penalty to Chelsea.
Yeah.
and then it's like all the bones got ripped out of my body, and I just felt it floor.
You got to. But then they were that gutted sort of feeling, but then quite a bit of pride as well that this depleted Leeds United side had gone to Chelsea. I mean, you see the team before, and we're going to get back to that. Twitter an hour before the game, we're getting absolutely hammered here.
Yeah,
and we put a performance like that in. And I thought, we were brilliant and probably one of the best performances we've had this season. I think Bielsa said that today in his press conference as well. And I guess the gutted thing comes from that. And you're always gonna. I might always think like my girlfriend doesn't follow football, but like she asked the question, "What was the score?" and to try and gauge how my mood's gonna be. I said, they've lost. I said, but it's okay because they've played well, and I'm happy. Obviously, we're gutted we were lost and that, but we played when they play well and they put the effort in, and you get beat. All right, we got beat in a bit of a dodgy circumstances, but you can take that a bit more, and be happy that we put that effort in against the top side.
This is the thing, though. Why can't I'd rather us put that effort in against Southampton and Burnley and get 3 points? You know what I mean? We're always putting effort in against top sides. Like, we're getting up for the big games and we get nothing from them. It's like, just go and beat. I don't care. Just go and beat Southampton and Burnley and, beat the teams around us. Fine. Go and beat Brentford. Because you'd look at it, you go, if we play like that against some teams, it's 3-0, 3-1, but it's just not happening. I don't know why. I think there's some serious, they're not letting on, but I think there's some serious like psychological things going on. I think the changing room needs a big lift with some new faces. I think just to energize everybody a bit. And I think Joe Gelhardt's doing that because he is basically like a new signing.
I think any of the injured players will be a new signing. Once you have, I mean, it must be hard for them players to think that it's kind of all on their shoulders, isn't it?
Oh, massively, yeah.
And then obviously we're gonna move on to the City game, but you're going from that Chelsea game where you've played so hard and you've lost it in the sort of dying moments.
Yeah.
How does that sort of, and you're looking around you and you've got a few professionals here, and then you've got a load of kids, and I guess there's that weight on the shoulders that we've played so well, but we just can't get it over the line. Yeah. And that must be quite hard as a footballer to sort of think. And now you've got to go. I guess we'll move on to it. Before we do move on to it, Danny, do you want to put your wig on?
Oh my God. Oh, brilliant.
So this is Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson, do you shave your balls?
You better do a good impression.
Number 10. When I'm partying at number 10, I always get Manscaped because you never know.
Oh, this is well rehearsed, wasn't it?
Yeah. We need to put a disclaimer up saying Boris Johnson does not actually endorse Manscaped products, just in case.
What happened? Did Boris turn up?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. You were having a party. Boris shaves his balls, and you can too. With 20%, with 20% off at Manscaped with the code SHAVINGSHUTT. It's free shipping worldwide. As we've said every week, it's a great product. Be like Boris and shave your balls.
Yeah.
Hashtag Boris balls.
Yeah, he does get a fair bit of action. So,
well, that's why, because he's Manscaped.
Yeah, exactly.
He should just use it on his head next time, though. Like Gary
gives him the optical inch. So told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's move on to I guess the City game. And like I was saying, you play that Chelsea game, you go all the way to Chelsea away. You play well. You probably should have got at least a draw, and then you've got to go to Man City. And I mean, even when the team come out, I thought, here we go. This is. I mean, I guess the same was said about Chelsea, but when City play Silva, De Bruyne, Foden, Grealish, I can't think who else. Well, Gundogan came on in the second half, but you're playing against them players who are I bet there's not a team in the world that probably can play that five that are that good. I mean, you've got Liverpool who'll play Salah, Mane, Firmino, whatever, and they're deadly. But you've got five there who would literally could be the best in the best 10 in the world.
Didn't they boss PSG not long ago as well? Like it was just a kickabout.
Yeah,
and then
Bernardo Silva's probably. You take out Salah, he's probably the best player in the league this season. De Bruyne's just De Bruyne. It was always going to be a tough night. I think the one positive I looked at was like, right, okay, they're without Cancelo, who's been one of the best fullbacks in the world, and they're without Walker, so they're having to play Stones. You never know, but that was only the only chink. Chink. They were at full pelt. Do you know what I mean? And it's mad when you think they hadn't even got a striker, man. Do you know what I mean? And I think they were obviously smarting after last season. I think Pep definitely was.
That was going to be my point. I was going to say next. Like, do you think Pep goes into that saying they came here last season and made a fucking mockery here, really? Because we did, didn't we? We had no right to do what would defend like we did, and then nick it like we did.
Yeah.
Do you think does that come into a mind? I guess none of us are elite Premiership managers, but. Do you think that comes into a mind of someone like Pep that this is what they did to you last year? You do not let that happen again, and you make up for it.
I think so. I think he's like kill this game off in half an hour. I think that's what he says. I think just kill the game off half an hour. It's done.
I think Pep's the sort of person that will bring up tweets from Leeds fans and just say, "Look, this is what they're saying about our club." That's honestly. Look at Danny De La Montas. He's called you a bunch of, go follow him, give him some, you know what I mean? DM him.
Yeah.
But I won't put it past Pep if he just said, right, they came here and took, they took 5 points of us all last year. Let's make an example, and they did, didn't they? Because
it started early on. I guess. Straight from the off, there was that Silva miss. I don't know how he's missed it.
When was that? Was it 3 minutes in or something?
Yeah.
We really get away with that, don't we?
Yeah. I think
it kind of set the tone.
Comical. The first goal's comical because he gets past. Who's it first? Is it Roberts? Then this is Rodri as well, and Rodri's elite, but he's not known for getting forward. Really, he gets past. It's past Roberts. I think he then gets past Ayling, and then Meslier can't get him either, and then it comes back off and falls to Foden, and then Dallas can't get it off the line, and it was literally comical. And you just honestly, because I was like saying at the time, I can't believe we've let a goal like that go in after we've just been gifted a massive like let off by them missing. But I've had when I've been reflecting about it, and I don't know if you guys agree. When at Ellen Road last season, when we drew 1 apiece with them, that first 25 minutes, they could have been 3 or 4-0 up. And we just rode our luck. And, our luck wasn't in this game. And, we conceded early doors, and then it was it. And there's nothing to say that could have happened last season. But, we did ride our luck. We did ride our luck and managed to grow into the game. Whereas this time, and I believe Pep said, like it's just been said, you go out there and you kill this game early. And they did that, man. And they were having fun out there. It was tough to see some of them laughing and joking on, and we're like 4-5 down, and it's like, oh my god, it was rough.
So considering that, I guess you got to think of, I guess like we said, where we're coming from with the Chelsea game, that we've just lost that. I mean, you get into the first 5 minutes of this game, and you're thinking, wow, it was literally wow. They were straight out the traps at us. Yeah, we could not pass out. We literally could not.
I was waiting for us to get it.
What they should have done is just stood there with Meslier with the ball for 90 minutes. And then he could have picked it up, run to the other side of the area and put it down. And that's the only way that they wouldn't have got the ball.
Yeah, I was waiting for us to get it out of our half, mate. There was
no out ball. But then I sort of plaudits to Pep. He said there's no Cancelo at right back or a Walker at right back. He plays John Stones at right back, and you're thinking, all right, he's a centre. But it was a simple thing that our outball's Harrison. Yeah. If we're going to go, either we'll switch it or we'll go from the goal kick or whatever to Harrison. Well, he's just said, well, I'll just put John Stones on him and he'll head it away every time.
Yeah.
So it's just a simple our only move like that.
Our only outlet was Harrison, I think. I had a look at who had each of our 3 shots on target that we had. I mean, even if we'd scored every shot on target, we'd have only scored 3. It was Forshaw, Harrison, and I think Roberts.
Yeah, Roberts, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just, I was like... I mean, I was doing it because I was looking at Rafinha as well, because I know I'm trying to be overly critical of Rafinha now because I know what a pedestal he's put on. You know what I mean? And I know how classy he can be. And for us, it's like we know he'll be player of the season probably over the course of the season. But as a player of the month, he never gets a look in because he's up, down, up, down, up, down. You know, like he could well win us the game against Arsenal. You know, but
I genuinely tweeted this, and I'll get pelters for this. But I actually said, "Oh,
join the club."
Rafinha. I said, "Oh, Rafinha's playing." And I was genuinely surprised because he'd not been involved in that portion of the game for that long. And I just thought, number 10's on the field. And I thought, and then going on to that Roberts shot, it's soft as puppy shit, honestly. He had an out ball to the left. Sorry, I'm ranting.
No, it's,
Do you think, I want to go to the handball because I'm sure it was only 1-0 at that point, or maybe even been 2-0. There was a handball by their defender. Now, I've not seen it back.
Yeah.
Zinchenko. Yeah. And to me, from memory, I've not seen it back. I was at the game. Rafinha had been in. Yeah, and did they show it on the TV if it was a handball?
Yeah, they replayed it and you could see that Zinchenko basically, he chests it and then he punches it towards Ederson, who catches it. Am I right?
They did check it for VAR.
Yeah. I thought they checked.
They checked it for a possible pen. They checked it for a possible pen.
Yeah,
right.
So,
but was it outside the area?
Yeah, it was outside the area. Yeah. So they actually checked for a possible pen, and because I remember it being on, and there's a penalty maybe, but he was outside the area. But I think the conversation's been like, well, he was last man, so therefore why hasn't he got a red card? And I don't know the rules behind it, but I know they definitely checked it for a pen, and had it been in the box, we probably would have got it.
Yeah, it's not a pen though, and it's. I mean, like I say, if it was in the box, it would have been a pen. So if it's outside the box, why is it not a free kick? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, no.
I mean, is it not a goal scoring opportunity though?
Yeah.
Oh,
it definitely was. I thought it was at the time. Yeah,
because he's not exactly, like willed it towards Edison. He's literally touched it with his arm.
Yeah.
But
add that. I guess add that to the mix. You've had 10 minutes. I can't remember the exact minute it was on, but you've had 10, 15 minutes of Man City absolutely battering you. You don't get a call like that.
Yeah.
And then you add in, we've been to Chelsea and we get calls like, and not to try and make excuses. And then you've got another 70, 80 minutes of playing against City like that.
Mm.
And it just kind of went from there that what are we going to do here? Because they were only, I guess after the first goal, it was only ever going to be one outcome because they wouldn't let us play. And they went on and scored 7.
Yeah.
And some of the goals were quite comical. Well, I guess they were comical and really bad play. But I think it got to the point where we were just like, what more can we do?
Yeah. I think the comical, even the comical goals, you'll get that look and you'll get that when you apply enough pressure. And that's what, like we were saying about the first goal, that was basically like a FIFA goal. It was just like, I think Ayling kicked it. He went to lunge to get it and he kicked it at the player and it bounced back to his feet. But they were just piling on pressure. So the ball's going to fall to you if you're quicker and, getting to the ball, reacting to it. So it was that mix, wasn't it, of relentless pressure and the odd bit of world-class individual, skill that just absolutely saw us off,
Do you think was City too good or were Leeds poor? Did Leeds help City in that?
I think we played into their hands a lot.
Go on, Danny. Mm-hmm. Go on, mate.
Sorry, mate. I think we played into their hands a lot because when we had a goal kick, the middle of the park was just full of blue shirts, and they were just closing us down every time. We couldn't get a pass together. Llorente were doing his outside of the foot curling wonder balls that just don't come off.
Yeah.
And I mean, De Bruyne just took the piss really. Especially that absolute thunder bastard that just took the piss. Like I said off air, if that net hadn't been there, they'd killed someone. They'd just go straight through someone. But go on, Joe. Sorry.
You have to appreciate that goal.
Oh yeah,
it was amazing. But at the same time, there was no one within about 15 yards of it.
So
he had the time to it. Yeah,
I was saying to Danny beforehand, I was sort of the other end. Sort of kind of near the corner flag in the City side end.
What a first Prem away day for so long as well.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
I was like, I don't think I would do say you're not going again.
Yeah. I think I'm banning myself, mate. But it had that much space, and you knew what was going to happen before I'd even got the ball because he was just stood in the middle and there was no one near him, and that was the whole thing. We just could not get anywhere near him. And it was like they had 20 players on the pitch.
Yeah, many against boys.
We were chasing shadows, and
I think the style that Bielsa opts for, there was nothing we could do. That's what they were that good on that day that his style, there was nothing that we could do to impart ourselves on that game unless we had equal to or better players. For me, the way that we helped them is by playing that style.
Yeah.
Had we have gone, we're never going to get this, but had Bielsa have gone right, we're just.
But we did do it.
Last time when we
but when we were last there, we did the same thing, didn't we? We did the same. We defended like that.
Yeah.
And we hit him on the break.
For all his genius, why wouldn't you try to do the same thing again?
I think he only does that because of the red card, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
one
forced to do it
episode,
because
yeah.
of the red. But
One key player missing.
Again, oh, yeah.
Alioski.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't, man. I'd have him back in a heartbeat.
Really, would you?
Yeah.
Would you?
I mean,
I'm not on that hype train. Nah, I'm not on that.
No.
Provided
I
the
mean,
assist.
for Firpo, and I've said that he needs to be given a chance, but I think we do miss Alioski in that way, that he was there, he could play the role.
His
And
engine.
sometimes he wasn't good enough for it and stuff like that, but there was someone who could play the role, and Firpo's going to need the time to. And I guess this is maybe why you wouldn't stay if you were Alioski. We covered it loads of times. Why would you stay to be second fiddle to someone who's learning when you can do it, or you think you can do it already?
Yeah, well, Firpo as well, man. Like he's like 2 foot taller than Alioski. You know what I mean? He's not the same build. He's not the same player. So I don't know about the scouting or anything, but when they're looking for certain players to do certain roles, you're obviously looking like who's physically the best built, you know, to be able to do that. And I look at Firpo and I just see this tall. He looks more like a centre back, you know, than a full back to me. But you know, it is what it is. As long as he's wearing a Leeds shirt, I'll back the guy.
I do think there's something there with Firpo. I do think there's something there.
When we're attacking, he looks really sharp at times, but he don't want to defend. For the life of me, he does not want to defend.
I guess you know what though, and I will say this for him.
Yeah,
I know he got battered in this game 3-0, but he was good against Mo Salah. He was good against Mo Salah. Yeah. I thought he was good against Mo Salah for a period of time, and that's the one, you know, the best player in the world right now. And I know they still beat us 3-0 and that. I hear what you're saying. I do. You know, and to be honest, he's a walking yellow card. How he didn't get a second yellow, I don't know. I think because we were getting spanked, the ref's gone. Yeah, I'm probably not going to give him a second yellow.
Yeah.
I think it's mad. Look, Alioski always wanted more money. I think he's on about coming back to Europe, isn't he? I've seen him being linked to is it Hellas Verona? Maybe I'm not sure. So I just think it was a bit mad sending Leaf out as well. We've left ourselves. We've no left back. You know what I mean? I think Stuart McKinstry is probably, you know, he was playing there in the under-23s, but the fact that we left ourselves with no specialist left back other than Firpo, knowing how many, you know, games he hasn't played in the past 2 years, what it takes, I think it was really poor, and that's where the season's gone tits up for me is the summer window for Leeds United. You know, we just proper balls it.
I said the exact same thing, mate. Like I'm cautious of putting too much on Firpo because again, like from the business side, you're looking at buying someone to be your sole left back, you know, and it's like you're looking at somebody who hasn't played for 2 years, and you know the intensity, you know all that, and it's just poor business, but somebody's got to do it, you know. Somebody's got to do it, haven't they? So
I won't put it past the club to not buy anyone, but recall some of the other, you know, like Bogus or Davis. But then again, they've got an option to buy, haven't they? So
Bogus, I've seen a lot of that. Bogus is playing in like the third tier in Spain.
Yeah, he's playing for a
second tier.
Second tier.
It's awful. I watch Las Palmas a lot, and the quality is awful at times.
Yeah.
No, we said
got
this
that confidence now, though, hasn't he? So
he does. Yeah, I like him, but again, I mean, their assets. We spoke about it with Joe from YEP. Like, there's certain youth players who are out on loan, you like Ryan Edmondson and that level, where they're just an asset to make money. Like that's the harsh reality of being in big league, isn't it? Like, you know, he'll maybe be $1 million or $2 million, but you think of what youth recruitment, what money that could do for academy and facilities and that. And the harsh reality is that we won't be seeing Bogus, you know. And again, Bogus ain't going to do, like, even people were like, we need Hernandez back. Hernandez ain't going to get us out of, you know, a knackered old 38-year-old. It's not going to happen.
It's true, man. It is. You're bang on. Look at Chelsea. Look what they do with their use. So it's all a money-making scheme.
They just churn it, don't they? They just they turn that out.
Yeah. I think
even like when we started
rare.
bringing in Rafa Majuka and all these sort of people, they were just purely brought in to let's see if they're decent. Kunters, Menikov, see if they're decent. If they're not, we'll make money on them. You know what I mean? That's the plan.
What you were saying though, like I think Leif Davis is a shout because he's playing at championship level. He's playing at a decent level.
He's doing well as well.
Yeah. But he's
having a good season. So potentially that. But
they've got an option to buy him though, haven't they? So is there a recall clause?
I don't know. I don't know if it depends on the offer. If they
have get sent out on loan by Bielsa, it's game over. It's game over.
Yeah.
Even when Otto was trying to peddle the stuff on Poveda, it's game over. While Bielsa's in charge, Poveda's not getting a look.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they've said it, because they know that Bielsa's eventually going to move on. You know what I mean? Soon, probably end of season.
If Bielsa wanted him, he's staying here. If Bielsa wanted him, he's staying here.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
100%. Yeah.
He's not letting some other guy. He's not letting some other guy manage the youth that he wants. No way.
Especially Tony Mowbray as well.
Yeah.
Who's managing at Bournemouth? It's not Scott Parker. It's Scott Parker.
Yeah.
Scott Parker at Bournemouth. Yeah. They're doing all right.
How long's Poveda out for? Because I've seen him in his Leeds kit. He's back at 4 parts training again.
Yeah, he got
he's out for
the
season. He's out for season. He's just rehabbing.
Again, that's what I'm saying. Like,
well, he won't be ready for January window, so he can't go out on loan again. So, yeah.
It's all about getting. We have to bring players in. We have to.
Yeah. It's not one.
Someone's going to have to. Someone's going to have to bend on their principles. Bielsa's either going to have to bend and say, "Do you know what? Okay, I'll let you bring these players in," or Otto's going to have to, and Rads are going to have to force them on him a little bit and say, "Look, you have to take these." You know what I mean? Something's going to have to give.
Yeah. I agree.
But he did mention it today. It was asked in the press conference, wasn't it? And he said he's not open to new players. He wants new players, but they have to be better than what we've got.
Yeah.
And I guess it comes down to, I mean, is Bielsa that particular in his player that he wants? Like, he wanted Dan James, and this is one that someone said it, like, is it Bielsa wanting too high a sort of standard?
Yeah.
But then...
But then
look at James, and James hasn't set the world on fire. I don't want to sort of dig him out, and I guess he's played in a million different positions so far. He's not played as a winger like he's come in to play for often. He's been up front, he's been at wing, he's been at right, he's been at left, he's been kind of in a 10 at times and stuff like that.
I think that there could be something lost in translation, and that what he means is potentially better, because you look at the wonders he's done with some of the players he inherited, you know. And then you think, now, would we sign a Stuart Dallas now? No.
How many of our starting 11 are at their ceiling now? For instance, Tyler Roberts, for me, can't go past that point where he's got so good.
Out to championship.
Do you know what I mean? I don't want to dig him out or anything. I'm not going to go at him, but I just think...
Danny, you hate him, man. Don't lie. That's twice you've mentioned his name. Twice you've mentioned him.
Stop bullying me, Joe.
He needs a loan out to
a
top championship team where he can potentially win the league or win promotion with him. Yeah. Get some under his belt. Get some numbers under his belt.
You know what? He's been good though lately.
Last 3 games, it's like, because he knows he's on the. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We can't then
say right now it's time to go once he's started clicking.
No, I'm not saying we need to just.
Well, we're not in the position to. We're not in the position to be chucking players off the ship, you know.
But
I think
that's it. Yeah.
Do you know what? Someone made a point to me on Twitter, right? Because I said about it feels like the media have sort of like lost him in translation, and he felt like he was making a point of saying, "I want players, but they have to be better than what we have." And someone responded and said, I agree with him. However, they want to be better than what he has in the first team. and there's a case for why can't they be better than what's on the bench? And I got that point. It made me think. I said, actually, improving the depth. Whereas Bielsa's looking at it, say, we have to spend 30 million to improve our first team. When in actual fact, you could actually improve the squad overall by improving on a Tyler who was sat on the bench, improving on having Jack Jenkins, Stuart McKinstry, Sam Greenwood on the bench. Do you know what I mean? They will be good, but their time's not now. And why not bring in players to fill that out? But I think the answer to that is he wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? He wouldn't. He'd rather give them under 23s splinters sat on the bench as opposed to someone else. Do you know what I mean?
I like the idea of Victor Orta and Bielsa sitting down somewhere quiet and just going, look, we need to, like you said, Joe, we need to come to some kind of middle ground here where, you know, because like the squad depth does need improving. I asked last episode, like, I wonder how many players he had in his squad at Bilbao and how many he's got now. And I because I always believed his philosophy was like one player for each position backed up by kids. We ain't even got that. You know, we definitely ain't got that. So, yeah, and Gaz has brought up the thing of like, how do you convince a player to come to Leeds to be a backup to Calvin Phillips or be a backup to Patrick Bamford? It's like, you're playing for Leeds. You know what I mean? Like, there's was the whole thing. Can convince players, I'm sure. You know,
that was the thing with Gallagher, wasn't it? That he wasn't sort of told he would be first choice at Leeds, or that was one of the things that was said. And I don't think anyone is. And if you think that, are you the right player to come to Leeds?
Yeah.
But then again, I can sort of see from another point, like I guess the club's point of view. Why say like take John Swift or the lad from Huddersfield?
Yeah,
his name eludes me. O'Brien.
Yeah, O'Brien.
They wanted what 8, 9, 10 million for him.
Yeah.
Why would we pay 8, 9, 10 million for a player who's not necessarily going to be Premiership standard? He's literally going to be a bench player.
Yeah.
And Bielsa likes him, but you've got to consider the investment as well, club wise. That all right, Bielsa might like him, and Bielsa could maybe do a lot of work with him. But if Bielsa's not here after this summer, and I guess this is going to be the sticking point as well, that if Bielsa's not here after this summer, you've just spent 10 million on a player that you're going to have for a year, and then someone's just going to leave him out because he's not going to be at the standard. Is Bielsa saying that we have to buy players who are similar to the first team because if someone else was to come in, you then just wasting money?
That's by the by, though, with this league, though, isn't it? Like, you run that risk, but the compensation of staying in the league is, you know, the financial compensation kind of makes up for that because each manager you get in can have a bit of money to spend and make the team their own. And I
guess there's another side to the argument of that Bielsa shouldn't be worrying about the money. Let the money people worry about the money. You just say, well, I guess Orta and his scouting team will bring players. Bielsa says what kind of player he wants, what attributes he wants.
Yeah.
Bielsa goes and finds these players. Orta goes finds these players with his scouts, and he says, right, this is what we can get. And I think Orta should say to him, it doesn't matter what it costs.
Yeah.
Let us deal with the cost. You just say yes or no. Do you want this player? Would this player help you do your job?
But it's a case in point with Dan James, isn't it? Like we've been after Dan James. He's like Dan James since we saw that debriefing that he did about Lampard and Derby, and then all of a sudden we're like going all the way through summer. Like right, we signed Firpo, some under 23s, etc. And then right before deadline, we've got 25 mil. We've got 25 mil to spend on James. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if it was Philly that said on his podcast, plug, and he said, you know, the money's always in there. It's just the case of what you just said, Ben. It's like, but like I think for argument's sake, if Bielsa does go at the end of the season, it's a whole new philosophy, a whole new mentality, and you know, players formations. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just
say it's a new manager that wants to play. Yeah, say it's a new manager that wants to play two up top. you know, or a 4-3-3.
They can't. For me, they can't. They can't do that. Like they have to have a manager that is similar to Bielsa.
I think so, yeah.
But what we have to do, and I think this is a conversation that we should have done more in the summer. We should do more in January, because I firmly believe, and I don't want him to, but I think this is Bielsa's last season with us. Are we then leaving too much of a job for a new manager to come in when he's only got 18 players or whatever, and he's like, guys, man, I need another 10 bodies, and then where do the funds come? Is there even a case that I've not really had this conversation, but is there even a case that Radrizzani is saying, I want to spend as little as I can before I sell to the 49ers? You know what I mean? You don't know what's going on behind the scenes, do you? Because like Dan said, we thought we're not buying anyone, we're being tight. No, but then as soon as a player comes up who they really want, 25 million comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. But on the other hand, you've got the 49ers who are, let's be fair, they are gonna be 100% owners at some point. If they don't want the value of their investment to plummet massively to the tune of 100 million a year, then dip your hands in your own pockets, you know. Because
also, if we do sign anyone in January, how long is it going to take for them to get Bielsa fit as well?
Yeah.
There's
there's always that in there. Yeah. But it is frustrating, because you look at, again, just some of the business that the players we were linked to, like Cornet at Burnley is the one I always go to. You know, if suddenly there was, how much did we pay for Firpo? Was it 18, 14?
15.
Yeah. And they get Cornet for less than that, who's a French champion, has played lots of football, is similar build to Alioski. So I always go back to the business side. Like, you wanted a like for Alioski, who's just won a league. There was your guy, for roughly, I think.
Actually, we turned him down by all accounts, didn't we? We turned him down. I agree.
think there's just been some bad business, and
because
it's tough to take.
You could argue, and I've made this point as well, is if you sign Cornet over Firpo, if you manage to get Gallagher over the line, and you maybe even go for Noah Lang instead of Dan James, you could argue we would not be in the position that we're in now.
Oh, yeah.
And it just shows you the importance on getting it right in the window. And I was very naive coming into the Premier League, not thinking it mattered that much, because we had Bielsa. And I fell into that trap. We finished 9th. It's all right, man. You just got to coach well on that. And then I realised after this, I was like, nah, shit. Like, nowadays, like, it's totally different kettle of fish. It has to be bang on. Otherwise.
But do you not think, I mean, a situation is not great right now. And it's not as fun as last year. But apart from Tuesday night, Liverpool and the first game of the season, they're the only games that we've lost by over 1 goal. And if we'd had players fit all season, we started off with the defence, and the defence has changed around. Remember, we talked about the first 5 weeks, we had a different defence and stuff like that. If we had a consistent team, did them draws turn into wins, and did them like close losses turn into draws? I don't think we're that far, and at times we've not played brilliant, but I think there's been a lot of that this season in the Premier League anyway. I think that's just how the season's going. We've just had the Euros, which kind of... It'd be interesting to see how teams are doing that had a lot of players that were at the Euros. Maybe that's some research I might do over Christmas while I've got some time off, but I think that'd be interesting to see. Obviously, you've got your big teams that obviously had a lot there. Like your Man City's had... Stones and Sterling and what have you. I mean, like the perfect example, and granted, there's a lot going on there, is Harry Kane, that he went to the Euros and then he's come back and he's what has he scored 1 this season so far?
I think 1 in the league.
He's supposed to be the best striker in the Premier League. Is it?
Yeah.
Is all that? There's been a lot going on, and I don't think he had. He really liked Nuno Espirito Santo, did he, and stuff like that, but. Are them players who have been at the Euros having that much of an influence and stuff like that? And that's why the Premier League is getting kind of a few odd results that you'd think, apart from the top teams, which are just blowing everyone away. Because they are that good. They have that much, two sides that they can play that are better than everyone else anyway.
There's a lot of midweek fixtures, isn't there, at the moment as well? There's a lot of Tuesday fixtures and stuff.
This is one of the hardest Premier Leagues I've ever seen. With Chelsea, City, Liverpool. I mean, Salah's just unstoppable. You know what I mean? And you've got West Ham as well. West Ham, I bet they're loving it at the minute.
Yeah. Well, from going from to now, it looks like the top three are going to be City, Liverpool, Chelsea. Chelsea maybe slipping. They've not had some great results. West Ham are going to be chasing them down, and from them downwards, it's all about how many runs you put together. Like if you put a run together of 3 or 4 games where you're winning, or even just 3 games, 2 or 3 games, you jump like 4 or 5 places.
Yeah.
I mean, like 2 weeks ago, I was very close to sending a Man United mate of mine a message saying we're hunting you down. Now you look, there's like 10 points between us.
Well, they needed a penalty to beat Norwich, didn't they?
Yeah, but at the point where I think if we'd have, I think it might have been after we beat Palace. I think they'd lost or something like that, and I thought we can sort of get quite close to them if we go and beat Brentford, and they lose again because they're a bit hot and cold. Everyone seems to be hot and cold. Like Leicester. They had a good result against Newcastle, but then they lost some other games, and it's all a bit like that, isn't it? It's weird. Everton beat Arsenal a couple of weeks ago, but Arsenal have been brilliant.
Yeah,
in the last month or so, and it's kind of. I mean, everyone used to say about the Championship, anyone can beat anyone, but from 3rd downwards to, I guess, the bottom 3, anyone can beat anyone in this Premier League.
Well, like you're saying about putting a run together as well, that kind of carries you as well. But I think it all relies. I mean, I think it massively relies on, like I said, just getting some new faces in. I'm not saying replace the team. I'm saying, like, honestly, I think three faces would do it that can just lift the change. Lift the players that we've got. Because I feel like they are. I think even the core of the squad, asking them to go out and do the same season again was just such a ridiculous ask. I think there's a lot of extra pressure in-house being put on them. But yeah, I think just a few.
But only more so because of the injuries. If we have a full squad, and I honestly believe if we had a full squad, we'd at least be 4 places higher than where we are now.
But look at I'm not saying we're going to get another Rafinha deal done. Far from it. But the difference he made last season, because a lot of what you'd call our Championship players, like Luke Ayling, Dallas, and all that, they could just pass to him, and he'd take so much of the burden off them. When they pass to him, he'll do something. He'll drag 3 men over there. It's just you need somebody with a bit of that, bit of leadership. Like a Ross Barkley, like somebody like that. But I think new signings do that. A bit of energy in an Nketiah, somebody like that. They're just names that have been thrown about. John Swift. But I think there is a massive psychological thing going on. Because you just got to look at like the finishing. That is psychological, like just blasting it over and just trying to desperately get a goal. So all the composure just leaves the body.
Yeah, Rodrigo's touch was it against Palace where he tried to take it round instead of just hitting it first time? I think that says a lot. I think he's not like the clinical of finishers, is he, Rodrigo? But the work rate's there, and that's what we want, isn't it?
And the chance creation.
If we just because we've been linked with John Swift for a while.
Yeah.
And if he just brings him in, just as cover, because I bet Glick's feeling it as well. Forshaw, honestly, his engine, mate. Credit to Rads, he was right. Forshaw's been an absolute Rolls Royce in there for me.
Yeah.
But he gets injured. What then?
Yeah.
I was on to Click. He's taken the can. Recently, all right, he made that foul, but I think he ended up leaving Twitter this week. I don't know, some abuse and stuff like that. And I admit I'm not one to speak on abuse on Twitter. I sent a message to J-Roy Grott once, but I think it's a different level on what Click's done for the Leeds United than what J-Roy Grott did.
Yeah.
And I think people need to maybe take a step back sometimes.
Wasn't J-Roy Grott like 17 when he played for us as well? He was proper young, wasn't he?
He didn't do anything. Let's put it that way.
Huge. Yeah. He'd have picked any of us up like that.
Yeah.
I always remember him pushing somebody over, some Sheffield Wednesday player or something. Kind of like tried to like stick one on him, and he just pushed him to the ground with one hand.
Yeah,
Boom, get down. It was great.
But yeah. I mean, the club have backed him. A lot of people on Twitter as well. Click's done amazing for this club, and there's a line between saying, "All right, he's fucked up there" and stuff, and give him it and being sort of abusive.
The players
and
will know they're fucked up. This is the thing. They will know.
Yeah.
And they'll learn and they'll try and get better at it. But they don't need to be told you're fucked up.
Yeah. This is the thing. Like, I don't go along with it at all. I think it's bang out of order. I've received abuse myself on social media. And that is tiny in comparison to what these guys must go through. And it feels minging. It's horrible, right? Genuinely, it's horrible. You focus on the negative, never on the positives. You can get so many positives, one negative, and that's me done for the day. Yeah. And my missus will be saying to me at 5 o'clock, "You all right, Joe?" I said, "No, it still got to me what that guy said about me, man." And I don't even know him, and he doesn't know me, but he just thinks, I'm a whatever. I'm a Geordie 40-year-old or whatever in my bedroom or whatever he's saying over there. See, I've still not got over it. So it's right. So, if you want to voice your opinion, that's fine, but don't be tagging him in it. That's where he's wrong, right? If you want to say someone's rubbish, many people do it. It's your prerogative. That's fine, right? But don't be tagging them. Like, I was at a game against Brentford. Dan James gets called offside for the third time. I turned to my mate and I went, he's doing me head in. I would not then walk onto that pitch, stand in front of Dan James and go, you are shit. Yeah. It's a similar sort of thing. None of them guys would be stopping Click in the street saying this to his face. They'd be asking for pictures. So don't be going on like that on social media. I think it's bang out of order personally. And
well said, yeah.
We've even seen our own captain who wasn't tagged in tweets, liking tweets, which were digging him out. And he wasn't even tagged in them, which means he was actually searching that stuff out. Yeah. So
there was ones when he didn't even play. Man. There was one, I remember Cooper, there was one where he didn't even play and people were saying, I think it was when Cresswell had come in. And so somebody said like, Liam Cooper's now our 6th choice centre-back. I was thinking, just have a fucking day off, man. He's not even played.
But with that's an opinion thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's like whether you think that happens as football. You can say, I think he's better than him or whatever, and I guess it's not nice for a player to see. It's then different to you're fucking shit and all this and the abuse side of it. You're always going to get as footballers. I'm not trying to defend any of it, but like,
no,
you're always going to get.
We're talking about.
I think he's better than him, and stuff like that. You're going to get that.
But we're talking about fair comment and criticizing a player. How would you criticize a player if he's not playing? You know what I mean? I think some people just need to have a day off, really. But
so. Speaking of not having days off, I heard you've been really busy, Mike.
I have, the
working
Terrace.
For the Terrace because it's a big day today, isn't it, at the Terrace?
Yeah, it's that segues in really nicely. Yeah, it's last day for guaranteed Christmas delivery. So any orders after today, you might not get them for Christmas, just to be aware. But it's been really busy. We've been catching up on orders. Been absolutely inundated with quality. I've actually got a couple myself here. Check this beauty out. This is one of the big mugs. Not my face, but there you go. I got it Batty on the back, and then I got this other one with Speedo on the back. So you can't go wrong with the Terrace. Quality stuff. I'm getting a little collection now. I've asked them actually to get me a little display unit for them, so I'll see if they send me a Christmas present. But it's just what can I say? It's quality stuff. And I've said before, for the Christmas season, our stuff is better than a lot of the stuff in the Leeds United club shop. Honestly, the Christmas jumpers we do are so much better and they're cheaper. And that's the whole point of the Terrace.
Yo, just on that, I went to Ellen Road. Last game was Brentford, and I went in, and there was a shirt, and it said £10 off. And I looked at the tag, and it was still 30 quid. Yeah. And I said, "Are they taking the piss?"
Yeah.
Like that is a piss take.
Yeah,
£10 off and still 30 quid. Come on. Yeah. And all it was, was a green shirt. With Leeds and like little thing, and I just thought that's taking the piss.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole point of the Terrace is making merchandise, whether it's licensed or unlicensed, making it accessible to people. Yeah. I mean, I always remember a clip of this was before the takeover, but somebody was at the phone filming a little price tag on a hoodie in the Newcastle shop. The hoodie was 175 quid.
Oof.
Yeah. Their new brand Castore.
That's the one.
Which no one's ever heard of before.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
And I guess that's the way sports merchandise is. I was looking for something. I won't say too much because I know my dad will be listening. But and the price of it, wow! I was like,
we're tight as well, right? We're notoriously known for being tight.
We are,
do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's a thing. It is a thing. And then to go in and it's like, how much?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They must hear it so much.
You pick it up. Oh, this is nice. Not for that price.
No, exactly. That's
one of my favorite.
And do you know what? I don't know if you guys have seen it. The Arsenal gear is on a different level. Yeah. And I just wish Adidas would start to churn out some of that stuff, but we just get the generic. Let's stick a badge on an Adidas top, and that's all you're getting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Need a few.
Maybe we need to be a European Super League club.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we do. Yeah, long way to go. Yeah.
Speaking of Arsenal, thanks for segueing that one in, Joe. That's who we play next.
I didn't even mean to do that.
maybe I just thought I'd wing that one in. Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll play them on Saturday. Maybe we won't. I don't know. There's games being called off left, right, and centre. And I think it's only us and Burnley that are playing now on Saturday. I can't remember who Burnley are playing, but there's been 4 or 5 called
Everton,
off today.
Mate, Everton. I think it's 4 games. The Premier League have come out and said they're not cancelling it. They're not cancelling it. Will only be for those teams that are going through it. And does it say more
Manchester
about
United?
Yeah. Does it say more about them though? Like I was thinking about this before I came on, and I seen that another 4. I'm like, are Leeds like really stringent and the rest not so, or am I just reading too much into it? Do you know what I mean? Or is it a case of that?
At the beginning of COVID, like Leeds were proper keen on it, weren't they? They had everything sort of set up. I think they had their own testing and stuff like that at one point before there was even testing kind of nationally and stuff like that. So maybe Leeds are really keen on that. And I saw something today, are Leeds all fully vaccinated or something like that? I'm not sure. I saw something that was one team that's all fully vaccinated. But so
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Yeah, but then they've got 3 players, Van Dijk being one of them, who's had a positive test. So you don't know where you stand with it all.
Well, I guess that's the thing as well. And the whole thing with the Brentford Man United thing earlier in the week, that there doesn't seem to be any clear rules of when games get postponed, like how many people you have out. I mean, Manchester United closed their training ground, but then the day after the game, it's open again and everyone's okay and fine.
Yeah.
This is what I was going to ask, if I can just jump in for 2 seconds.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But so, like, they've got 3 or 4 players that have to isolate, right? And they've got a positive, but everyone else tests negative. Why does it have to be postponed?
And just treat it like an injury and just play the game.
Yeah. Why can't they just fill?
I think there's a shout that I saw something on the Sky Sports website about 14 available players. They have to have 14 available sort of first team players, which I guess is your 25-man squad, which you have to announce for the Premier League.
Yeah.
So if you have less than 14 of them available, then you can call it off. But that doesn't seem the case with a lot of things. It's very much like how much can you kick off, and we'll then buckle.
You only need 11 to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
on the whole conspiracy thing as well, we've seen how tight the Christmas schedule is. We've got 1 day off between Liverpool and Villa, and you just think that is mental. And I think a lot of teams will be just trying to fuck up that schedule as much as possible, just to because especially the ones that are in Europe as well, and the FA Cup's coming in January. You know, it's like I think a lot of them are throwing the toys out the pram.
I wasn't really going to cover this, but there's been a lot of talk in the last couple of days of I guess like we call it a fire break or whatever, 2 weeks of not having football. I guess there's two ways to look at this from my point of view. That there's the first, Christmas is a big time for football. It's people get together, they watch the football, they go to the football, Boxing Day and all that. Like you can guarantee that the whole thing with Leeds United, like especially when we were in the Championship, you knew the first game, the last game, Boxing Day, or the game around Christmas, before Christmas or whatever, they were going to be sellouts. Regardless of who we were playing, they were going to sell out because that's what people did. Now, is that going to play into it with the TV and everything? You've got an Amazon Day in there that they'll pay a lot of money to have all the games on. Do you stop the football because of this? And obviously they'll just play the games. I mean, I think we play Villa in February. It's on a weeknight. And then apart from that, I don't think there's any other weeknight football. So there is the time there to play the games, which would be, if they get this week played, I think it's 3 games. So we'd have to play maybe 2 that we'd have to move into next year. And then the other sort of side of it is, I've just lost what I was trying to say. Do you? It'd be good for Leeds United, really, in a selfish way, that we've got all these players out. If we're not going to start again until we play West Ham in the FA Cup on what the 7th or 8th is it? I can't remember the exact date. We play West Ham. 8th September, 8th of January. Sorry, that gives us pretty much 2 weeks with players out. I mean, Calvin Phillips won't be far off then. You'd hope Bamford. Cooper's probably back. Bamford will be back. Can we be a bit selfish there and say this helps Leeds United a lot when we've got to play Liverpool? We've got a big game against Villa, who are doing well. Yeah.
Well, they'll be as well on it, won't they? And I think a lot of clubs will go yes on that.
Yeah.
I think the way that the games are being called off, I think so too.
Because just calling them off individually now, anyway, it's just chaos.
Yeah.
You know, and like you're saying with the rights and stuff, it's like there's a lot of money lying on it. They'll want to get that all in order, I'd have thought, and reschedule it. But yeah, I can totally see us being that team now. You know, desperate times, desperate measures, and all that.
I'd welcome a 2-week break, if I'm honest. Get the players rested. Yeah. My mental health could do with 2 weeks off as well.
Yeah.
And but if all the players come back after 2 weeks and we end up staying up, then Karen Danny can say that COVID helped us.
Yeah.
What I mean?
See, I don't want a break, man.
Oh no, I don't want a break because football's great. Like,
I miss the football when it's not here, man. I do genuinely. It keeps me going, man. So I've seen a lot of people say that, and I have the adverse thing of like, nah, let's soldier on, man. Let's soldier on, and
no, as a fan,
I do think that'll be Leeds' sort of thing. Leeds will want to keep playing on, but no matter how many people are out, Leeds will try and carry on.
Yeah. Well, Bielsa said, didn't he? He said, I wouldn't like to play people if they had depleted squads. Whereas we'll be like, nah, if they're missing X, Y, Z, buzzing. But Bielsa wasn't for it. But knowing Bielsa as well, knowing that he gave a goal away, he'd probably say, right, we're not allowed to play our 3 best players now because they haven't got their 3 best.
It out.
But,
so what do
I
you
wish
do?
that I wish they had done that on Tuesday.
What do you do when you see Victor Orta stripped and ready to come on?
Yeah.
Oh man, he plays in gold, doesn't he? I think.
The one place we don't need
it.
Yeah. So moving on to Saturday, Arsenal on Saturday.
Yes.
I guess after City, we need at least to show a performance. But it's going to be a tough ask. Arsenal are on a good form. I think are they up to 4th now, or at least
they're in the top 4.
Yeah. But I've seen against Everton that they do have weaknesses. Whether we'll have enough, I don't quite know.
I think going into it, I watched them play last night or night before or whatever it was. They were a team with confidence, and they wanted to bounce back from that Everton game, and that's what they did. So I mean, after how we play for the Chelsea game, if we play like that, I don't think we'll have a problem. We should do well against them. But if we've got a bad mentality, hurting from the City game, I think we're going to struggle. But I believe in us. As long as Joffrey starts up top, I think we'll have a good chance.
Yeah. Well, do you think that's it? I mean, obviously we've got more injuries. Firpo's suspended. James is out. Is this now the time? Start Joffrey. What have he got?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
I think
you give him a run.
I think there's a good chance now in the past few games if there's more injuries and suspensions. Because Rafa might get a yellow card and this other team. I mean, I hate to bring him up, but look at Rashford. Rashford took his chance, didn't he? And look at his one of first names on their team sheet.
Yeah,
and maybe this is their. Joffrey, he's played 3 Premier League games, and got a goal. That's not for an 18-year-old. That's not bad. Cresswell, he's an 18-year-old lad, and when he had in that FA Cup game, he was rock hard back there for me.
Yeah, that's the other thing. The defence now that Firpo's suspended because he got the yellow card. Shackleton looks to be injured. I guess there's 2 defences we can go with, which is Ayling, Cresswell, Llorente, Dallas, or Drama, Ayling, Llorente, Dallas. And I think all day long for me, we play Cresswell.
Yeah, I would like that.
I agree.
I think at this point, he actually favours Cresswell over Koch, to be fair.
I mean, Koch's been...
Koch will play.
I think if Koch's playing, he plays...
He's starting in midfield.
Yeah.
It'll be Koch and Forshaw for me. And I do think it'll be the second option you mentioned because Drame came on against City, which makes me think he'll start at right back, Dallas will go left back, and it'll be Ayling and Llorente. But I much would prefer Cresswell, Llorente, Ayling, Dallas, Koch, Forshaw, and then you're probably looking at Harrison, Rafinha, Roberts, Gelhardt. That will be mine, but I do think he'll bench Cresswell. I think because that blew my mind against Brentford is that I could see Cresswell and Ejaldi warming up, yet he still went to Click, then changed his mind and went for Harrison when Cooper got injured, which was mental for me. But I don't know. But I think Koch does come straight back in, and to be honest, I want to see him in there. We need more, more than what we've got.
In a simple way, he's a pro, like a pro player, a sort of that we need to put in the team because we don't have anything else.
Yeah,
and he's played there before. He's played there for Germany.
Yeah,
and it's going to take time for him to get. He's not played all season. It's going to take time, but I think he needs to go in. Yeah. So getting on to Arsenal, he's not here, but we'll do some.
In and around that area, he'll have Odegaard, Xhaka, and Partey. Maybe to deal with.
Well, that's the thing as well. Yeah. You're playing Arsenal. Will play with a 10. Like people are saying, because of how we played against Chelsea, kind of Forshaw was the 4, but it wasn't really like that because of how Chelsea play with the 2 in the middle, like a 3-4-3, aren't they? So Forshaw got that more space, whereas when you're playing against someone who's got a 10, you need someone who plays the 4 like Calvin to sort of keep that 10 occupied.
Yeah. I think it will be.
Yeah.
I think it might be Emile Smith-Rowe as well. Yeah. I think he came on, didn't he, and scored. Yeah, so I think Odegaard might drop out. Maybe Emile Smith-Rowe or Martinelli even behind Lacazette. You don't know, do you?
Be an interesting battle, that Smith-Rowe and Robin Koch.
Yeah.
It's not.
I think
it's not so good that you're writing Robin Koch off, but it's good enough that if we can keep him quiet, then you're thinking right, steady away now for a good run of games.
Because Emil Smith-Rowe's a baller, man.
Oh yeah,
baller.
He's brilliant. He floats and glides around the pitch
he's brilliant.
Koch turns like an Arctic truck.
And the last time Koch played in that position, the man he was supposed to be marking got a hat trick.
Well, that's what I mean.
Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes. Sorry.
We're comparing to Phillips, but we don't have another Phillips.
No.
You know what I mean? Like no one can fill that hole other than Phillips, unless you drop Forshaw out there because he's a good tackler. But personally, I'd like to see Koch in defence. But
to be fair, I was surprised. When did Shackleton play that role? Shackleton played CDM, didn't he, at one point? And he was surprisingly good. I can't remember when it was. I just remember we were all like, hey, he's all right in middle. I can't remember.
I don't think he ever played far though, did he? Anyway, let's get on to some predictions.
Yeah, let's.
Raggy's predictor.
Obviously, the fingers. Raggy's not here today. He's gone out for a meal. So yeah, Arsenal at home, Ellen Road. Mike,
why me? Am I leading it? Do you know? Have you got the scores out?
No, I haven't. Raggy didn't send me them, so we'll have to follow it up next week.
Right, I can't go for a lose again. 2-2.
Joe,
and I'll be happy with that.
I didn't predict on mine because I just don't know which one's going to turn up. 1-1.
Danny?
Yeah, I'll say 1-1 as well because I think we'll frustrate them, and I think the crowd will be our 12th man. To be honest, I think I think we'll frustrate them. Yeah,
I'm going to go with my old faithful 2-1 Leeds. Which I've done for like the last year.
Do you know what people forget as well? We're undefeated in 5 at home. That's like, it's mad when you think about that. When you're like, oh, really? Yeah. So you never know, do you?
And I think Ellen Road has made a big difference. Yeah, that's a good. I've got that. I think they've lost 6. We've lost. That's 7. I can't remember. I did these yesterday. So yeah, we've lost 7. They've lost 6. And the difference is,
now, I'll take it.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. But I think it'd be nice to get a win. Especially if we're not going to play for 2-3 weeks or whatever. It'd be nice to sort of go into
then I'll just be there going, and all you people saying you want Bielsa, get in the bin, you absolute idiots, man.
Yeah. Well, them not having Aubameyang could be really good as well, depending on how long.
Is it that much of a miss? Because has he been that good? Yeah. Because since he got his contract,
it galvanised them yesterday, didn't it? Galvanised them.
Yeah. If we do win, I want Bielsa running on the pitch like that Steve Bruce FIFA meme.
I'd love that. Brilliant. I just want to see him do that little fist pump he does when he's happy.
Yeah.
Goal.
Yeah. That's what I'd like to see.
It would be very Leeds United to come out and do get a good result and play well after something like that. That's what we kind of do.
Yeah. And then beat Liverpool on Boxing Day at Anfield.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Well, how long do they have to isolate for?
Liverpool are all right, though, aren't they? They're playing now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're winning 2-1 at the moment.
And they got a positive Van Dijk.
Boris.
No, I just remember seeing earlier that like Van Dijk and 2 of the players had positive tests, so just clutching at straws, really, just to see weaken them in any possible way you can. But,
I think he'll be available, won't he?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. But again, if we have a win in between, and we because we haven't lost 3 in a row yet, have we? So
no,
tempting fate.
I think we'll get something, man. We can get something, man. We're unbeaten. Yeah. Let's get something, man. Even if it's a point, as long as we.
I think we get a point. I do. I think we get a point.
As long as the bottom 3 keep losing.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. We won't. Yeah. I've said it, man. We're not going down. I know people won't like me saying that, but we won't. We won't.
No. The likes of Norwich
back from injury,
they ain't turning anything around.
Because we've got to think like come February time, we'll have a full squad probably. Probably February, March towards business end of season.
What did we always used to say in Championship? It's all about what you do after January, isn't it?
Yeah.
All about the runs you put together after January.
Well, if we're by the new year, if we're not in the relegation zone, I think we'll be fine. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Exactly.
We had to get points on the board. We had to get points on the board before this run. And I said that. I said, we have to get points on the board before this run, because after that run, if we haven't, we'll be in the bottom 3. And we did. We beat Palace. We got a point against Brentford. I know we should have beat Brentford. But that then gave us breathing space. We lost to Chelsea and went up a place because Southampton got spanked. We then got spanked by City. Okay, not great. But it's still as you were. Like, if we can get something against us, that'll be huge. And then, New Year, better fixtures for us, man. We'll be sound.
Regardless of getting spanked by City, we lost 7-0. Yeah, fine. We only lost 3 points. If we'd have lost 1-0, we'd only lost 3 points. All right, there's a bit of goal difference, but I don't think it'll probably come down to that.
Can you? I mean, this is more of a revelation. Could this be a year that Burnley actually fucking go down? Because they always seem to avoid it at last minute, don't they?
Do you know what Burnley are though?
What?
Shithouses.
Shithouse of the week.
Well played.
That's good. That
I think Gary can just retire now, can't he? I'm not I don't know. You're not retiring, Gary.
No. Back here as soon as possible.
I've got quite a big list of shithouse of the week this week, and I know we're on for a nearly over an hour and a half now, so I'm going to try and rattle them off as quick as possible. Referees for the consistency. Now we talked about this a bit last week. We've praised them all through the start of the season. Referees were brilliant, but it's absolutely gone to shit.
Yeah.
You don't know what is going to get called and what in.
Yeah.
I think I've not seen I've got the game on, but I've not seen it, and I've seen messages coming up. I think Mike Dean's played a bit of a gaff in this Liverpool game.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I've seen
that. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I've seen a few.
I think 2 players were down with head injuries or something, and Jota put it in the back of the net, and he just was like, "Yeah, play on." But I've not seen it. I'm just going on
because
on Twitter.
The Liverpool and they're a top side. I've got two nominations for the Premier League. One is, as we discussed earlier, surrounding the referee and getting get a fine and a bit of a telling off
from the FA or whatever. Yeah.
If you're doing that, then there's people getting fined every day.
Yeah, dinosaurs.
Every
Let
game.
It go. Let everything go. FA, let it go, man.
The second one was, and I guess it's kind of irrelevant now because it's all gone to shit anyway. But the scum game on Tuesday getting called off, and then conveniently the next morning it seems the training ground's open and everything's fine. Now, this is where there needs to be. I know we discussed it a little bit earlier. There needs to be exact rules of how many players have positive tests before you can call it off, because it's a bit like the F1. The guy's just deciding.
Well, it should be a percentage.
The outcome's going to be.
It should be a percentage of your squad, because then it's relative to the bigger teams as well.
Yeah. Well, technically, you need 11 players to play a game, yeah? And then they can fill, was it a bench of 7?
Yeah.
Or 5? And you can only put 3 on. So you're telling me that they'd have no youngsters to put on that bench like we do?
Yeah.
Oh, it's bollocks, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like yeah, cancel it. I think I'll go for a latte. You know what I mean? It's and it was very evident because all the penalties that they had, the top 6 and the penalties that won at the weekend as well.
Yeah. I think 5 out of 6 of them got penalties, didn't they?
Yeah. The next one, Rudiger, because he's a bit of a prick.
Yeah.
I mean, it was funny. The old thing with the penalty, and then he came storming over. I didn't quite catch what happened. He came storming over it when there was a bit of that sort of fracasing corner. And he had a bit of a pop at Llorente, and then Cresswell came over. And
he
kind of just shit himself and disappeared.
Yeah.
He just seems a bit of a shit house.
No one wants anything to do with Cresswell if he gets involved.
The next
Absolute
one,
unit.
which is even more. So I wrote this yesterday, but even more so now, COVID, because it seems to be fucking up everything again now. So yeah. And then the last one is a personal one, Highways England, because typically, as Leeds play away, they decide that the main motorway on the way home is going to have 2 lots of 1-lane traffic, like cut off sort of thing. And it took me, it was past 1 o'clock when I got home.
Jesus.
So yeah, fuck them. So they're my shit houses of the week. Has anyone else got any to add?
People's hamstrings.
Yeah. I thought I did, but I have to get back to you.
Mason Mount for shushing Leeds fans.
Who, sorry?
Mason Mount for just being a dick.
Did you see the Derby fans saying that were like for them on Twitter? They were like, "Oh, getting Mason, giving it to Leeds," and
fuck about Derby.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
He's literally won the Champions League, as if he's like, "Oh, Derby."
There was a Derby fan on Twitter this week, and he was saying that they're going to be in the Premier League in so many years.
Oh yeah.
So my reply was the Northern Premier League.
Hey,
blue square.
So yeah,
good.
So who are we going to give shithouse of the week to this week?
Oh man,
state of the referees, man.
Yeah, I was going to say man.
Just ruin it all the time, don't they?
Yeah. It's every game. I think. Like I see on Twitter, I don't follow a lot of other fans. I know, Joe, you have a lot of other fans on your channel and what have you. The Just Joe Football Show and stuff like that. Do they say the similar things to us?
You see, a lot of them are top 6, so it don't really matter to them. They don't feel it, bro. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, everyone can see. I think what makes it even more enlightening is how well the Euros was refereed, and then we have to put up with this shit week in, week out, you know. And there's just no consistency. And I think this weekend, when we seen Chelsea win by penalty, Man United win by a penalty, Liverpool get a penalty, City get a penalty, and a few of them were contentious. And if it were the other end, I don't think we get it. If Rudiger challenges Gelhardt, we probably don't get it at the other end.
No.
But
Sorry, I've got another nomination. It don't matter now, but Maddison's dive for that penalty, by the way. Can I just bring that up?
I missed it.
He basically he jumped into whoever it was knee, and then did the old, Private Ryan impression. Sorry,
but they're the kind of things which, I guess, in the flow of a game, a referee could be duped by that, and they're the kind of things that VAR should sort out.
Yeah,
and it's just not doing it now. Everything just seems to be unquestionable, and I guess the same like with the handball thing at the Etihad, and there was like no conversation. Like I've always said it, that you need to hear the conversation with the referees. What is he asking?
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
Because like if they're asking, is it a penalty? If that's the question, and they say no, it's outside the area. All right, you can maybe say okay, fair. But then obviously the question that we said was, well, if it's not inside the area, it's outside the area, and it's a free kick.
Well, he was chatting to Luke Ayling at the same time, wasn't he? So
I was watching it on TV, right, and they didn't even show the replay of that foul just before they scored. They didn't even show it. And it's like, well, how can we, as fans, judge that? Because VAR, it didn't even come up on our screen or like that. Because when I saw it, I was it's been fouled there. And then next thing you know, De Bruyne just slotted it home, and it's just like, but surely that's a foul in the build-up, and we didn't get to see it.
Yeah,
and it just makes you think, what's the point? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. I think that's us done for the day.
Yeah. We did.
But I think we covered all what we need to with Man City. Put it behind us. Hopefully get 3 points against Arsenal.
Yeah.
So cheers for joining us, Joe, Danny.
Thank you very much for having me, mate.
Thanks for having me.
It's been great.
And I'll probably say the quiz next week.
Yes.
Mike, yeah.
Oh, I'm in. So It's the day before I go away to my mum's for Christmas as well, so it'd be great.
Cool.
I have to get some beers in or something.
Yeah.
Really cut loose.
One thing to say. Say that.
Say that.
See them.
Adios.